coming into the break in Super Rugby, I was asked by Jacaranda FM to answer a couple of questions here for you, and that's what I'm going to do. So they sent me a couple of questions about Super Rugby. I'll answer them best I can. Keep watching and obviously try and just give you a bit of insight of where I think the competition is going to go when it returns and what's the challenges for the teams that are there. So here we go. Three South African teams have already qualified, the Lions of course being the one that's been the most rampant and getting the most points as well. So the Lions are the favourites to qualify for the playoff berth. They'll get a semi-final spot if it all goes on like this, and play probably a New Zealand team in that semi-final, and then hope for the Crusaders to slip up somewhere and that so that they can get a final at Ellis Park as well. That's what we're hoping for. It might not happen, although even if I think they have to go to Christchurch for a final, I reckon they'll probably be a lot better equipped this time than last time. I think the big question there is, can they change their game plan? Can they adapt to a wet New Zealand cold night? And that we'll have to see. But I think that's where the Lions are at the moment. It's the Lions' success at the moment. It's quite easy. They've built their structures. Their fundamentals are excellent. Their set pieces are great. And they're coached also to play what's in front of them. And that's a nice thing. But with good fundamentals, good set pieces, good lineouts. They've already got great basics. And then what they do is they leave the players to make the decisions and to react to what's on the field in front of them. And I think that helps them a lot. Very well coached, and I think Johan Ackerman's done a sterling job there with his management team. And I think that's one of the reasons why they do so well. Of course, the other teams to have qualified already are the Sharks and the Stormers. The Sharks probably qualify as the best second place qualifier. The Stormers will win their conference as well. And both teams, the Sharks will have to play away. First of all, the Stormers will get a home quarter final, but the Stormers will have to try and replicate that early season form that saw them beat the Chiefs at Newlands. They haven't been great. They went off the boil in New Zealand. They lost a lot of form, but they can be back. And I reckon they've got a good chance if they get up that momentum, get that form. And the June break is going to be crucial in these next couple of games for them to get that sort of momentum well. The Sharks, I think the breaks come at a bad time for them. They really hit their straps against the Stormers and it really looked good. Very physical, very on top of the game. The game management, their pack was brilliant. I think it's come at the wrong time for them, and they're going to want to actually carry on with that momentum. So it'll be interesting to see how the break affects them. Looking at the three other teams that are going into the break now, I think the Cheetahs and Kings, they're all expectant, waiting for whatever the announcement Saru is going to make about the future of the competition. That's their only hope now. There's been all sorts of speculation going on, a lot of other things going on in the media, but I think at the end of the day, the first thing that needs to happen is that Saru needs to make the announcement, and that will tell us the future of that. Are they going to be able to keep their players? Are they going to lose a lot of players? Is there another competition they're going to go into? We're not sure at this moment, so I think that all has to wait. The Bulls, of course, have got their turnaround plan. John Mitchell's on his way to Pretoria. We're hoping he's going to be in there by the 15th, 16th of July. So he'll be there for the last game or two of the season. But I don't think you should expect miracles straight away. I think the Currie Cup will be a better bet for the guys to have a look at how they are. Nollis Marie will be coaching the Currie Cup under John's guidance as well. And I think there'll be a couple of players who will want to know just what their futures are. I think it's a shape up or ship out type situation. And I think that's we're going to see at Loftus Versfeld. To the Stormers, looking at them, why were they exposed? It's a tough question because they really looked good. They looked like they had learned their lessons. They brought in a skills coach from New Zealand. They looked like they were knowing what they're doing. And the first 6 games of the season went well. But as soon as they hit the Lions, sort of the confidence fell apart. And I think from there, going off to New Zealand and then obviously playing the wrong rugby in the wrong side of the field and the wrong places really affected them. And they tried to run their way out of trouble, didn't work. And of course ran straight into the New Zealand side's hand. So their biggest factor has been confidence. And they've got the players, they've got great players, exceptional attacking players as well. But they're going to need confidence. I'm hoping that the June test gives some of these players some confidence. It's good to see a player like Damien Delenda back. I think if you get a guy like him to get on form, it can inspire their backline as well. And they've also had injuries. Their fly-offs, how many fly-offs have they used now? They had Kurt Coleman the last we saw. There's been a lot of injuries in Cape Town, so they've for that I feel for them, and I think that's the one thing they're going to get the injuries right. Whoever they can get right for these last 3 weeks of Super Rugby, and of course for the playoff game, it's going to be crucial. But they're going to need to up the intensity, and they're going to need confidence to do that. Then looking at the Sharks, just a point I want to make about the Sharks as well is that if you look at the Sharks, they're a team that plays well away from home. This whole season they've played better away from home than they did at home up to this last week where they beat the Stormers as such. So to me, the Sharks are a side that can surprise in the playoffs. They're going to have to go to New Zealand and win there, and that's not easy. But if there's a side that can do it, it's the Sharks. They've won there before a number of times, and they've probably got the best record of South African teams in New Zealand as well. So to me, I reckon they can surprise, but a lot of things could go in your way, and you need some bit of luck as well. It's always obviously impossible to have a look at who's going to play who at this stage of the season, but I think if you look at it now, with 3 weeks to go, if you had to play the quarterfinals now, it would be the Crusaders against the Sharks, which would be a tough game. Sharks have won there before, but it would be a huge game for them. Sharks would be massive underdogs. The Lions would play the Chiefs if it was held now as well. And that would also be a big game as well. I think that the Lions could probably win. The Chiefs can win away from home anywhere. You have the Brumbies, who come in by virtue of being the top Australian team, but certainly don't deserve to be there. And they would play the Hurricanes, which I would back a Hurricanes victory there. And then the last one would be the Stormers hosting the Highlanders. And that's a dangerous one for the Stormers. They could easily lose that one if their intensity is not up to it. So that's what it would look like if it was today. It'd be very interesting to see. I'm not sure, maybe leave a comment about how you think that those quarterfinals would go and who's got a chance to make it through to the semifinals. Considering the teams will want to get some momentum going into the last couple of weeks, it'll be interesting to see who's got the best run in. If you look at the Stormers, for instance, they've got the Cheetahs, the Sunwolves, and the Bulls. So 2 of those 3 games will be kind of tough. I think probably beat the Sunwolves quite handsomely at home, but the other 2 could be very tough derbies, especially if a decision's made about the Cheetahs, if they're going to be leaving Super Rugby or not. And the Bulls, of course, John Mitchell will be in Pretoria by that time, and it'd be a lot about pride. The Sharks, of course, will have a bit of a difficult one as well. They also have the Bulls, so the Bulls could really hold a wild card playing the Stormers and the Sharks in the last 3 weeks. They have, of course, the Bulls, then they have a bye, and then they face the Lions in the big playoff. The Lions have the Sunwolves, a bye, and then the Sharks as well. So it's going to be that last week could be huge in terms of a local derby, and I'm not sure the coaches will want it that way because, going into a playoff, you want all your players fit for that. So you might actually see with them already have qualified, both teams might just play a second-string team then. That's it, guys. Those are the questions sent. If there's some questions you want answered, I think next week we'll maybe do a Q&A with some of the Springbok questions as well sometime. So if you've got some questions, put them in the bottom, subscribe to the videos, and then leave your questions in the comments below and we'll get to them as well. So thanks for watching. Chat to you soon.